Okay, in this last and final video, I'll discuss the design of tinyURL service. Okay, so let's imagine that we have both mobile we can make it it can be a BlackBerry. We have mobile users and we have desktop users. Okay, so I'm going to host this service on a CDN. CDN. So when a user wants to access my tinyURL service, they will be first directed to the CDN. From there, the CDN will use a load balancer. By the time my service gets so popular that it needs load balancing, we will be ready. The load balancer will not only distribute the load properly, but also perform health checks, so if any servers are struggling, they won't be sent requests. Okay, so my tinyURL service is going to have two main services. It needs to be able to do these two things. Create a short URL as well as get the corresponding long URL. Okay, so again, let's say I'm a user, directed to the CDN, directed to load balancer, onto this create short URL path. Let's say I want to create a short URL. So what's going to happen is I have a database here, a SQL database. That's going to store various keys that are generated using base64. So let me talk about that for a minute. With the use of base64, I will have access to 64 unique characters if I only had one be the limit of my tinyURL size. So what if I say that in every tinyURL, it has to be tiny, right? So let's say I choose 7 characters, right? With 64 options for these 7 characters, that will give me 64 to the 7, 64 times itself 7 times, which is 4.39 E12. I did the math, and this means that every person living in the world today could make 550 tinyURLs in their lifetime and be doing this. This would never run out of unique IDs. So I'm going to go with that estimate. Obviously, if for some reason this wasn't enough, we could increase the number of characters that could be included in tinyURL. So what we have here is our SQL database. We have keys generated using Base64, and our tinyURL is going to have a size of 7 characters. So one main part is left, and that's the how are we going to get the long URL, right? So I'm going to use Redis Cache. This is the cool part. So let's say I want to get the long URL associated with the short URL because I want to, like, I click on it and I want to go to the website. So I go here, 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 here. Now I'm at Redis Cache. I check. In my cache, do I have that long key, short key mapping? If I do, then great. It doesn't need to go anywhere. If I don't have it, I can just get that information from my database. And that is my tinyURL design.